Here we are in Bluff, Utah. I run into a good friend of mine, Defi.
Hey, what up?
Alright, so we're gonna do a random 5 questions with Uncle Gonzo. Here we go.
Alright.
Okay, first question is from doing performing in front of Sway, what other big celebrities have you performed in front of?
You know, that day, well, performed with Sway like numerous times through the open ciphers that he hosts throughout the country, and being that that open cipher has a platform of artists that are nationwide, international, from independent to major. There was a lot of major artists there too, who were definitely in the building, but I'm not sure if they were really listening or in tune because it's so early in the morning. But there's been so many other people that I consider, I don't know if I would necessarily say celebrity status, but throughout the span of my time performing throughout the country, I've opened up and toured with a lot of artists that some have been multi-platinum, some just independently very successful. I just thankful every time. Not really sure if a lot of these celebrities or multi-platinum artists or really successful independent artists are really listening when you're there performing as an opening act, but if they are, that's a blessing. I think if you catch an ear of somebody out there who's really influential culturally, or even if you would say like in the industry or what have you, I feel like that's a good thing to strive for as an independent artist. So all the up and coming people out there, yeah, do your best because you never know who's watching, right? But I've had some times where people come up to me that I least expect to show a lot of appreciation for what I do on the mic as a lyricist and wordsmith or MC. And those moments catch you off guard the most, and it's nice when you grind a lot of time and hours off stage to make it worthwhile for people on stage to catch your performance live and feel it worthwhile to give you a compliment afterwards. Those moments when people take the time out of their night to come up to you and approach, I really give thanks for it, because I'm not as extroverted when I'm after the shows. I'll just keep to myself most of the time. So apologize if anybody has came up or hasn't came up before and expected me to come say hi. It's just sometimes after the shows you kind of just chill, but you never know who's watching when it comes to performing, and so it's always good to just try to do your best at each show. Even we're out here in Bluff, Utah today, and you never know who could be watching or able to possibly open another pathway for artists like myself or the band to continue to do what we love to do, which is live performances and music. But that's a good question. There's a lot of people out there who've seen. I can't really name drop, but yeah, it's I'm definitely getting out there the more and more I tour, and I've been touring consistently for the past few years, so it's been a blessing, man.
All right. Second question was being from Shiprock, New Mexico, and that's a very small town.
Yeah.
And to me, you've grown into this artist that become a household name. We would like to know what Defi stands for and how did that come about?
Okay. Yes. Defi itself spawned probably back in 2001, maybe 2000, maybe 99, somewhere around there was the idea of trying to create a name that I could go by as an artist out here from Shiprock, New Mexico. It's a reservation, for those who don't know, out in the Four Corners, barely by the northwestern part of New Mexico, the Dene Nation, Navajo Nation. It's a very rural area, so I can see that's a good question, because Defy could mean a lot of different things when I thought about it as a youth. And one of the meanings can kind of like sonically be explained as like, you know, here would be high def or high definition. Down here is like low def, or you know what I mean, and then or lo-fi, and then right here in the middle is defi. And so somewhere in between like this super digital age where you get a lot of sonic frequencies in the full spectrum of a song playing throughout your system versus, you know, being in the analog era where more natural acoustics were recorded, such as like you're hearing right now. It seems like there's like I've tried to create a balance between living in coming from an analog time, and then but still coexisting within a digital age and era. Kind of feel like that's where Defy fits somewhere in there. And when you think of Defy as like an acronym, there's a letter D, there's an E, there's an F, there's a hyphen, there's an I. But Def-I in an acronym, if you were to put little dots between them, be definitely eternal, forever, internal. Basically, it's just 4 words I feel that are powerful and fit together to create some kind of concept or image of my mind where what's really inside you lasts beyond our flesh and lives beyond human lifetimes. And so as an artist trying to keep that in perspective, I try to strive to create music that'll like live past our lifetimes here and, you know, be possibly able to influence people much more in the future. You never know. So Defy also means like, you know, defiant or something like that, where I mean, you know what defiant is. Like, I just had a hard time dealing with authorities as a youth, so I was already defiant by nature. Hip-hop became a form of resistance for me too at a young age, and also a positive outlet to transcend a lot of negativity and somewhat, I guess you could say, oppression within the area, because, you know, Shiprock in Mexico is very rural. There's not much opportunities compared to certain other areas, not to compare and contrast, but there's this place on our res too called Fort Defiance, and as a youth I used to go to Fort Defiance and play baseball, t-ball, and made a lot of friends there, have a lot of good memories there on the baseball fields. So Fort Defiance has kind of grown on me as a youth, and within Defiance comes the word, stems the word defy, and I spell it more with defiance instead of like the D-E-F-Y for that reason, so to speak. And there's more names to defy too, more meanings but it's short for definition, or short for definition rare, because me and my best friend have a group called Definition Rare, and it's my boy Wakes Up, shout out to Wakes Up. Besides that, there's a few other meanings, but it kind of gives you a little overview about kind of how much thought I put into the name itself, so that's who I am. I'm Defy.
Right on. Yeah, question number 3. You travel all over the world and all over your own reservation. You're going to be heading to Japan here next week?
Nigeria, actually.
Oh, Nigeria?
For my first time. The band I play with, they're amazing artists. They've toured a lot throughout their entire careers as artists, and they're all very much, I'd say, world-class musicians. So I myself am just barely getting my feet wet as far as traveling out internationally. So I'm going to be a part of an international cultural exchange program that is put together by an organization known as Next Level. And Next Level is partnered with several countries internationally to create cultural diplomacy through hip-hop, basically. And it started out with them sending out cultural ambassadors from jazz bands from, I think, is the 60s and 70s. Eventually, in today's age, now we have hip-hop culture as a very much on the main platform of world music, and it's, one of the fastest growing cultures in our existence and time right now. So it makes total sense how hip-hop can help other people unite and just create harmony through music and the arts and culture. And Next Level is there, has been there through, I think, I'm not sure what cycle this is, but every year they send out teams from all over the U.S. to represent and just build with other amazing artists and students and people from all over the world. It's an amazing opportunity, and it's just great to be part of it. And especially because I'm from like the Dene Nation, there's not so much, I guess you would say, indigenous representation within the Next Level program right now, but I'm definitely honored to be part of it, thankful to be able to travel and just clear my path to be able to do it. So I'm thankful, man. So I'm looking forward to it. Next week is the trip. I leave very soon, and I'll be out there completing a residency and a few performances that I'm going to help out facilitate as far as emceeing goes. So, but there's also other artists that are traveling out there too, dancers, beat makers, other MCs, vocalists, style writers, DJs, and we're all just going to be out there for the same mission. And we're going out there with open minds and open hearts to try to experience. I mean, we will experience something that I've never experienced before, and a lot of the other artists on the team, they travel a lot more. So, like I said, I'm just thankful to be able to just get the opportunity, man. So.
That's awesome. The fourth question is there a difference for you performing in front of your own reservation to any other reservation or any part of the world? Is there a difference for you to, like, things you can and cannot do?
You know, that's a good question. I mean, like, I feel like when you go to other reservations or other places of the world, you definitely do want to respect their ways of life, the ways that they live their daily lifestyles. But not only that, but just ways of conduct and being able to respect their, I guess you would say, rules. So sometimes I'll be kind of more just laid back in certain ways. If there's, how would I say? I don't know. I try to just put full effort in there no matter what. I can't say that I limit myself whether or not I'm in a place that is here or there, but I feel like I just always try to give my best no matter what. And sometimes it's different when you say there's different things that you can or cannot do. Sometimes it may not even just be reliant or dependent upon myself. There could be a lot of technical issues dealing with the sound, or a lot of things that certain venues can or cannot do compared to other certain venues around reservations or even cities. So I guess when you take that in perspective, yeah, you know, say for instance, they might not have enough subwoofers or something to get a certain effect that I want with my beatbox, and it might just sound like I'm very flat. And in that certain instance, as an artist, I would, before the performance, at least just know that I'm not going to do that beatbox kind of thing because it's not going to come out the way I want it to. But that's only happened, and I've learned that through trial and error, you know. So I guess that, taking that in perspective, that's something you could consider.
All right. My fifth question usually pertains to our youth. Okay. A lot of our youth are way into hip hop, like it's their soul. It gets them out of trouble. It keeps them their mind straight. But the most thing that I noticed that native kids like is freestyling. To me, anybody can write a poem, lyric, but putting a freestyle together just right on top of your head, how does that come about for you? How do you practice for that? Or
I guess I just, you know, the more vocabulary you have, the more words you're able to put together that could possibly rhyme, even if certain things don't rhyme. You could slant rhyme certain things and try to stretch the boundaries as far as what the English language could do, or I mean, potentially do. So I really just try to be in the moment, not be too shy or let the adrenaline get the best of me, because you get too excited sometimes up there, you might blank out, and it happens, but it shows the humanity and it shows that it's real, and it shows that it's a freestyle. So there's a certain beauty that you can't attain with delivering the cleanest verse that you've ever wrote in your mind to a crowd that might look certain, like, differently or you can't get that with a freestyle, live freestyle. As clean as your verse may be, a freestyle somehow just has a way of just standing out to a crowd. And I think it's just because it's in the moment, it's sporadic, you're creating the moment there, being in the moment, creative. On the beat too is the main thing. But when it comes to freestyles and trying to like achieve like that effect when you get like a punchline, it really comes about with the end rhyme and the setups. So you kind of look at like your freestyle as being like couplets, mini couplets. You set up punchlines at the end if you can. Those are like kind of premeditated lines. But the word freestyle itself has been bent in so many different ways that it's almost like, what it really is a freestyle now. It's arguable. It's very controversial, but it's the gift. Micah 9 said freestyle is the gift that keeps on giving, and I feel like that's a true statement as an MC. I feel like being an MC, in a full capacity, I feel like at least you have to at least have freestyling in your capacity to be an MC. I feel like, because anybody can rap, like you said, but the freestyle it takes practice, man.
All right. We are here again in Bluff, Utah with Defi. Thanks to everybody that come out. And Defi, thanks for coming out to the northern part of the Navajo Res. And go ahead and give out your social media. How do they follow you?
Hey, if you're on Instagram and Twitter, at DEF_I. If you're on Snapchat, DEF-I, and Facebook.com/DEF rapper, Def Rapper. Or you could just type in DEF-I and I'll pop up on Facebook too. Thank you so much for tuning in, and hope you enjoy the next interview.
All right. Thanks, brother.
Peace, man. Make sure you check